Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, apologies. I've been away for the weekend. I actually went to one of the HH Gaming crew's wedding. So Never from HH Gaming, who does a lot of the article writing and also is one of our kind of like chief Dragonair content creators. He got married. So me and the crew went to the wedding. Got to meet up with a bunch of new people actually from the community that went to the wedding, as well as the rest of the guys. So Lady H got to wear the famous Genzin mask, which YST got built, which is super cool. And yeah, anyway, we had a blast. But it does mean that I am late on the Fusion news. So I tried to like blinker myself from everyone's reactions, everyone's thoughts. But what's super cool here is we've got like a Valentine duo coming in. One is a fusible champion, and one, yeah, you guessed it, is going to be got through shards, and he's probably going to be a void. So let's take a look. Let's see what's going down. This is the Fusion champion, White, Queen, Ankora. Kind of like mummified look. Let's have a look at the old playthrough. As ever, Raid knocking it out the park. Very cool. Nice design on the dress, like mummified around the back. Nice kind of like shoulder pauldrons. Okay, so that's the White Queen. And then we've also got the White King, Narses. He's looking very serious, I've got to say it. So this is going to be like the Valentine duo, and they do have a lot of skills which synergize. So we're going to check through and see what that means. I've not play tested. I've not done anything else with it other than seen that there's a lot of gold writing, which means that they're going to be synergizing with each other. And we'll see how that kind of like plays out. But there are a few other really cool duos. I think all of them came out around Valentine's, actually. So Cupidus and Venus, really good duo. Cephei and Rotus. Let me know, do you want me to do like a top duos type of video following on from this over the next couple of days? But yeah, I'm hoping that these get in the mix of those type of champions. So let's have a look here. That's just the visuals. It's got this kind of like relic as well in this visual here, which looks pretty cool. So let's start with the actual fusion. It's a fragment champion rather than like an old school fusion. So I guess with the new patch, even if you don't complete it, don't forget you get the fragments. I've seen a load of like noise around old fragments. Like, let's say I've got the cow here, 75, didn't do the fusion. I didn't do the fragment event. I just did stuff in the game. I collected up the fragments, and then I'm going to get the chance to transfer this into chests, which either get me stuff or they get me fragments of the High Mother Maud, who I think looks like a really cool new champion as well. But I feel like this is a win for free-to-play accounts. I see a lot of chat like, I don't want to give up my fragments. Why not? What are they doing for you right now? I don't get it. I don't get the sentiment of, oh, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. Like, this can only be good. I don't get it. This can only be good. You either get stuff or you work towards a champion who looks cool. Okay, the champion might be longer time frame on it, but still, I don't get the negativity on this one. Like, that's blowing my mind. But anyway, so you either get fragments, which help you towards that, or you actually get the hero if you really want to go for it and you've got enough stuff to do so. So I feel like this is a good change. Anyway, let's have a look. White Queen Ankora. So she is a Night Revs legendary support champion. I guess we'll just have a quick read of what Raid had to say about her first. So it's going to start on Thursday, 8th of Feb. Fragment event. White Queen Ankora is a tanky champ. That's a weird... I don't normally call him out like that, actually. Tanky champ with a focus on supporting fellow allies that will be helpful in PvE and PvP. She's also got a synergy with another champion, the White King. They go for a kit here. Okay, they're literally walking through a kit, so they're not really giving us too much about what's going on. That's it. Okay, so I'll just go for a kit and see what I think. So we've got here, Necrobolt. Attacks one enemy, 30%. Books to a 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill by 2 turns. On an A1. Random ally skill by 2 turns. So it's random where it goes, and then it'll basically pick one of the skills that are on cooldown, reduce it by 2 turns. This is not a bad skill. This is a kind of cool skill. It's a bit like a bit like the Golden Reaper. So she's got an A1, but does it to one ally skill by 1 turn. So it's just an improvement on that, and it's the same chance. So it's almost a recast of the same skill, but slightly better. But then it says here, so if you've got the White King on the same team, and has any active skills on cooldown, decreases the cooldown of one of the skills by 2 turns. So if you've got the White King on the same team, it will always focus him, and you'll get one of the skills reduced cooldown. Also says here, if he's on the same team and has no active cooldowns, decrease the cooldown of a random ally skill by 2 turns. So it goes back to the original. Okay. If the cooldown of a skill is fully reset, also heals them by 10% HP. It's a cool skill. It's a cool skill, yeah, it's cool. Like, because you can choose, like, let's say you go in with the big nuke of White King. We'll see him in a minute. Then basically you could A1 and pretty much get that nuke back, I'd imagine. So it could end up being a pretty nutty A1. We've got Shield of Imaria, 4-turn cooldown. So you've got a full cleanse, books to a 3-turn cooldown. Full cleanse, shield equal to 25% of this champion's HP, which by itself is a good skill, but not an amazing skill. Like full cleanse anywhere on a 3-turn cooldown is really, really solid. 25% shield is nice as well. There's no like protected shield here or anything like that, but still it's a good skill. If you've got the White King on the team, also puts strengthen on as well and a turn meter fill. So obviously at that point, it's like having 2 skills going off. Significantly better. So far, A2, decent without, very, very strong with. And then we got Rise My Love. This books to a 3-turn. Revives a dead ally with half health, 75% turn meter. That's high. Resets the cooldown of the revived ally's skills, so like Godseeker. And if it is White King, gives them 100% turn meter and 75% HP. After the revival, decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 10%. That's actually cool as well. That pretty much means that if you revive the White King, he will get a turn. Sometimes you revive, 100% at turn meter does not mean your team member is going to get a turn straight away. This kind of pushes it that they will. So that's quite a cool addition to the skill. I think that happens whether the White King's on the team or not. So you basically go 75% turn meter and then push back the enemy by 10. Quite cool. Only thing I would say here, so that would be the only thing that needs accuracy. I think that still needs accuracy, right? So that is the only thing that needs accuracy in this kit so far. And I don't love that. But saying that, the second part here, so if the White King is revived, decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 20%, and it can't be resisted. So if the White King's on the team, no accuracy needed. If he's not, then you're basically building a stat just for one part of the conditional, which, I mean, you probably would still do it because it's actually quite a strong addition to her kits. So again, without the White King, it's a decent revive, but not crazy. With the White King, it's a really, really solid revive. We've then got Queen Consort here, passive. It's on a 3-turn, but books to 0. So whenever an ally tries to place basically any control, freeze, true fear, provoke, sleep sun, or petrification on an ally with the highest crit damage, transfer those debuffs to this champion. Okay, so anytime they're trying to lock out your damage dealer, she's like, don't worry, fella, I'll take that for you instead. And it could be booked down to a 0. So it could literally, she could eat all of the control, all of it. That's insanely strong. It's really strong. Builds the turn meter of this champion by 50% if this champion misses their turn due to one of those. So if she misses her turn, she just goes straight up to half turn meter anyway. So she's halfway to getting her turn back. At the start of this champion's turn, remove any of those debuffs if the King White is on the same team. So she gets a self-cleanse if you've got the King White or the White King. If there are multiple champions on the same team with the steal, only activates once, okay? And you got speed in all battle. So what I'd say is, like, without the White King, really solid fusion, actually. I think actually a really good champion. Like, full cleanse, some shieldage, team reduction, steal reduction, a nice revive with a reduced cooldown of skills on the revive. All of those things really good. Very nice passive as well to support your kind of damage dealer. Without the White King, I don't really see her getting into like the best endgame teams. I can't see where she would get into as like the best teams, but I think she would be a really, really solid support champion for like the average player. If you've got the White King though, I think she is a really like insanely god tier support. Honestly, I think she becomes really strong. So let's check him out. Is he worth having in the team basically? So HP based champion, it is void. So she was magic. He is void, which makes him insanely hard to get unless they do some sort of event. And they like very rarely, like Tormund nearer Christmas was one of the best ways you could have ever got a Void Legendary through an event. Okay, it doesn't happen often that you get a chance to get these guys like easily. So tough to get for sure. I'm sure it'll end up being on like, you know, the progressive chances, all that sort of stuff, and Wales and whatever will pick them up fast. But for the average player, really hard to get a Void Legendary. Okay, so Corruption Scepter here attacks an enemy, books to 50% chance of randomly increasing the cooldown of a target skill by 2 turns. That's a nice A1, and cannot be resisted if you've got Ankora. So no accuracy needed if you've got Ankora on the same team as well. Solid A1, really solid actually. Desecration Blast, books to a 3-turn, attacks all enemies. The HP nukers notoriously don't hit hard because they don't hit hard unless they have a conditional extra hit. So Magnar hits hard because he's got a conditional extra hit to have a go, whereas Fatalis, for example, doesn't hit that hard because they literally just use his multiplier. Unless HP guys hit twice, they don't hit hard. Okay, that's the facts. So ignores 25% defense. That's a good sign. Here you go. Places an extra hit on targets under shield or strengthen. So if you're fighting a group of enemies that have got like a bolster set on, or they've just got strengthen up, then, you know, basically anti-Pythian, I guess to a certain extent anti-net crit with the shields that go up. Obviously, you've got like, yeah. So I feel like this is pretty damn solid. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills or masteries. Damn, that's actually really strong. So you've got a chance of a double hit, and passive skills are not reducing the damage that they take. So let me read that again. Damage inflicted by the skill cannot be decreased by enemy passives or masteries except by the passive of bosses. So it's not strong against bosses. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be increased either by masteries or passives. So you can't, yeah, I mean, you can understand exactly what it's saying. So you can't like boost his damage through masteries, which boost damage of steals. I think you can still boost damage through stuff like gear sets, like lethal and stuff like that. So that hits on a 3-turn. We'll have to do some damage testing when we get him on the test server, but that's an interesting steal for sure. Like an HP nuker that can actually do some work and ignore like some of these like real meta buffs, like shield and strength, for like anti-Marishka, Taras potentially. Really interesting. We've then got Spirits Claim You on a 5-turn, books to 4, attacks 2 times, 1 enemy, increases the damage inflicted by this skill by 10% for each buff on the target, stacking up to 50%. So yeah, 10% for each buff on, oh, and an additional 10% for each buff on this champion. So if you stack buffs on yourself whilst hitting someone with a load of buffs, then you can do absolute colossal damage, I would imagine. If he kills a target under 3 or more buffs, does blocked revive as well. Damn. This is a double hit anti-Rotus with block revive. It's really strong. Also gets an extra turn if he kills someone with Ankora on the same team. This is kind of like old school Rotus, honestly. Like, block revive someone, extra turn, go again. Yeah, that's pretty mad. That's pretty mad. Especially considering Ankora can. So let's say you do this, goes to a 4-turn cooldown. I think he does his AoE next, and then Ankora can probably reset his skill on cooldown with her A1, and he's got it back again. I think it's going to be like certainly a live arena, but generally an arena god by the sounds of this so far. We've got passive here, Mantle of Undeath. So this champion will receive 50% less damage when attacked by enemies, including bosses, and he's an HP-based champion. Bosses and their minions out of their active turn. Okay, so that's like if someone comes in on you with an ally attack. Let's say the Marishka-Taras combo, where Taras always attacks when Marishka's around. That will take 50% less damage. If they're coming at you with an ally attack, less damage. Counter attack, less damage. So quite interesting, actually. So yeah, straight up just reducing your damage for like, not for most stuff, but for some interesting situations. If White Queen Ankora is on the same team, this champion will receive no damage, 0 damage, when attacked by enemies out of their active turn. Interesting. So let me think then. So like when the Ice Golem, I'm not sure if you'd use him for this, by the way, but when the Ice Golem does his like retribution hit, I don't know if that's an active turn. I don't think that it is. I think that's almost like a passive kicking in to do damage. I'd be interested to see if that does any damage to them at all if they're both together. This effect does not apply against bosses and their minions. Okay, so the second part would not be bosses, only the first part. It says here as well, this champion steals will also ignore shield and strengthen. That's actually really important. So when you're doing the A2, if you're hitting into a shield and getting your double hit, the cool thing there, because you're ignoring the shield, firstly, you'll get a double hit. You won't eat the shield away. And yeah, basically the ignoring of the shield just means you've got a better chance to take someone down. Yeah, because you're just hitting their health pool, not their shield pool. So this is really strong. If it hits hard and you get that double hit away, it's a really strong skill. Will he hit hard enough? He's ignoring defense. You're definitely going to need to get something like a lethal set on him or, like a mercer set or something. Will he do enough damage to rock the meta a little bit? That's the interesting point. Damn. Okay, look, he's a void legendary. It's going to be hard to pick up. But it kind of means that this fusion or this fragment collector, for anyone who's trying to play like late game competitive play, this is a must pick up. Even if you think you won't pick up this guy for a while, I will do some testing once I get access, but I'd imagine these two together are going to be like a must have on an account who wants to be like, proper active stuff. So I would say on her own, decent, together, insanely strong. And yeah, probably like a must pick up for me. Let me know what you think though down below. It does feel like they're making champions to try and counter some of the problems in the current meta, honestly. That's what it feels like, like Taras Marishka. No, we won't nerf them. We'll just bring two new guys in that can probably counter them in some way. Rota's really strong. Okay, well, let's bring a new dude that might be able to counter him. Anyway, interesting. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I'll catch you soon.